Greetings to you all. I am here, and this is pretty much the 30 subscriber special. I know it's been a while, but I couldn't think of what to do. But then I could. Well, originally the plan was that I was going to do I have no clue, masked chef character, making some bloody food or something, but nah, that's rubbish. What we're gonna do, we're gonna enter the comedic goldmine that is Australian politics. I can't believe I never thought of this before, because politics of Australia are quite batshit insane. So let's begin, shall we? Right, so before we start, let me just acknowledge that I'm only going to be covering federal politics in this video because I don't know enough about all of the different states and their politics and everything, and I can't be bothered to research them, and it would probably take up too much time, and they'd probably all be very similar. There's a lot of assumptions in there, but I don't care, because I just want to make a video on Australian politics. I don't mean Queensland politics, I don't mean Victorian, I just mean, Australian, federal, whatever you want to call it. So essentially, Australia has, we're going to explore the politics with owls. What you might be wondering, why are they owls? Aren't politicians probably the least wise people on the planet? Yeah, well, that's completely and utterly right. And that wasn't a very funny joke, but it also wasn't a very clever analogy. But what I was going for was, a group of owls is called a parliament, see? And that was supposed to be comedy. I know. This channel's dead. It's just, I don't know anymore. But hey, if we're here, we might as well put up with it. Am I right? I don't want to live. Let's forget all that. So, you might be thinking, excuse me, what do you want about? Well, of course, politicians also gather in parliaments, or satanic cults, depending on who you believe. Especially if you believe Alex Jones. Then again, I think the only person that really believes Alex Jones is Alex Jones. But anyway, so Parliament, you have two houses. You got yourself the House of Representatives, which is, in terms of elections, it's really the only house that actually matters. And you got the Senate, which is just kind of, I mean, it's good if you can win the Senate, but if you can't, hey, if you still manage to win the House of Reps, that's fine. You're still in government. Good for you. But yes, so essentially, House of Representatives and Senate. It's that simple. Well, yeah, it pretty much is that simple. The House of Reps has about 150 seats. Senate has 76. I believe 12 for each state and 2 for each territory. The 2 territories, of course, being the Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory, both of which have a population of approximately 0 people and a super intelligent shade of the color blue. But hey, we gotta be equal to everyone, even if they're just like, no one lives in the ACT except politicians, so they're basically representing themselves, which is weird. Anyway, what? So, how do you become Prime Minister? Because that's the big, well, essentially the big head honcho. The big head honcho is technically the Queen, and she gets to pass royal assent and shit on all the laws, and except the British monarch has never even done that in over 300 years, and it's highly unlikely that they're ever going to do it anytime soon, because it'd probably piss people off. But Yeah, we're just going to talk about, well, I'm going to give a brief explanation of the Queen and how the Queen works in this country. Essentially, the Queen has a, a, a person, Governor General. 9 times out of 10, it's been a bloke. There's been one woman, so I can't just say a bloke because that's not inclusive, of course. We're going, well, yeah, because of course we're very politically correct on this channel. Of course we are. Anyone who even remotely knows me is probably laughing right now. Stop it. Don't laugh. This isn't the funny part. This is just me talking. Jeez, what's wrong with you? Get your head out of your ass. Anyway, but yeah, the Governor General, so essentially, the only real thing the Governor General does, apart from attending speeches and crap and all this other bollocks, is he, like I said, royal assent on every bill passed in Parliament, because he represents the Queen. And, yeah, even though royal assent has never been denied in 300 years, they still have to keep that, because, I don't know, Queen wants to think she's in control. By the way, Queen, please do not send MI6 agents around to my house. I don't want to die. Well, actually, I really do. I honestly wish I was dead, but that's completely irrelevant. Anyway, now that we've got all the boring crap out of the way, let's actually go... Well, no, we haven't gotten all the boring crap out of the way. Sorry. We've still got to do how you actually become Prime Minister. You essentially... The election process, once every 3 years, you can just... There's term limits. There's no term limits, sorry. Once every 3 years, an election pops up like like Ebola in an African community or something. I don't know. Make up your own analogy here. But basically, an election happens. And of course, like, remember how I said the House of Representatives is the only one that really matters? Yeah, that's pretty much true, because you have to get more than 51%. Yeah. You have to get more than 51% in order to... Well, no, you have to get more than 50%, sorry. You have to get 51% or more to win. And so, of the seats, that is. And so, since there are 150 seats, you need exactly 76 in order to win. Well, not exactly, but above 76 or above. You know what I mean? Shush, I'm tired. I don't know why. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's hush. But, yes, now that we've got all the boring crap out of the way, let's go to making jokes about the major parties. Yay. Why do I do this? I don't... Let's not get into that. Let's just go on, okay, shall we? Because otherwise this is going to get depressing, and we don't want that. Do we? Well, I'll probably... Let's shut up. Okay, good. Okay, so first up we have the oldest... Well, technically the oldest, because it's existed in its current form for the longest period of time. We have the Australian Labor Party. Yay! Why am I shouting or cheering? Whatever. Australian Labor Party. Essentially, I believe they've had about, I think, if I remember correctly, they have had approximately 12 prime ministers, which is the most. The Liberals, we're not counting previous incarnations of Liberals, we're counting the current incarnations, so therefore they essentially, well, therefore they have the most. It's that simple. I'm sure you can figure it out. But yeah, the current Labour leader, they're pretty much one of the two big parties in Australia. The other, of course, being the Liberal Party, who we'll get onto. But as of the 2016 election, Labour held 69 seats in in the House of Reps. So you might be saying, and they're in opposition. You might be saying, which is the most. That's the most. You might be saying to yourself, now that you've heard both those pieces of information, you might be saying to yourself, hey, excuse me, if they've got the most seats, why are they in opposition? I'll get on to that. But anyway, current leader of the party, sorry, I think I drank too much bloomin' vodka. I'm gonna stop making jokes because none of them are funny. No, but seriously. The leader of Labour as of since 2013 has been Mr. Bill Shorten, the Honourable Bill Shorten, MP, William Richard Shorten, which means his full name is technically Bill Dick Shorten. You can make your own joke out of that. It's too obvious for me. Of course it's not really. Yeah, Bill Dick Shorten. Yeah, okay. Probably not the best name for your kid, is it? Mr. and Mrs. Shorten, whoever the hell you were, I have no clue. Anyway, yeah, he's a member for Maribyrnong, and a fun fact, he's actually currently married to Chloe Bryce, who is the daughter of Quentin Bryce, who was the Governor General until 2014, which is a coincidence. Isn't that a nice little coinky-dink? Let's Maribyrnong. I can't even think of a joke to make about it. You got, yeah, Labour Party, really. They consistently usually get votes, more seats than the Liberals. But we'll get to why the Liberals are in government currently. We'll get to that. This is neither the time nor the place nor the something. But yes, we'll just we're just gonna move right along. Well, we're not gonna move right along. Other things to note about the Labour Party. You got amazing people like Chris Watson, whose actual name or first name was John, and he was leader for a while. John Watson is Sherlock Australian politics canon? Let's hope not, because we don't need more. Because we don't need more convolutedness, convolution, something. I don't know. Whatever. And their slogan is, of course, we'll put people first. Although, in my opinion, they'll put people first in front of the train when their bad policy, something. I don't even care, really. I don't. Let's not get into my personal political views. I don't even hate Labour. I don't know. I don't know who to vote for. I don't think anyone knows who to vote for. Let's bloody put up with it. Because we've got to, don't we? No, we don't actually, but they could just actually give us a proper idea of who to vote for, but nah. Also, they are premiers of every single state except for New South Wales and Tasmania. It's completely irrelevant. But the Australian Labor Party, yeah, they're the oldest political party, consistently get more seats than Liberal alone. We'll get into that with the Liberal Party! Could you tell there was a jump cut there? I bet you couldn't. It was completely seamless. It was as seamless as ragged old cardigan that's on the decaying corpse of a British prisoner of war that's been left to rot in the ground, dying from anthrax because the conditions in the camp are too poor. Let's not. Let's not bog this down in the mud where the POW is currently lying. But let's instead get into the other big party in Australia, the Liberals. And, well, actually, not just Liberals, the entire coalition, because we'll just cover them all. Kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Gotta have pretty good aim to do that. Anyway, Liberals. So, like I kept repeating, you might be saying to yourself, how is Labour in opposition if they've got the most seats? They have the most seats for one political party. But the thing is, in Australian politics, there's a little thing that we call the coalition. And the coalition is, on a federal level, a coalition of, 3 parties, really. Well, actually, it's a coalition of 4 parties. However, only 3 of the parties have actual seats. The 4th party is just kind of useless. But anyway, so what are these 4 parties? Well, you got the Liberal Party, which is just nationwide, covers everything, got the most out of all the coalition with 45 seats. You've got, you've got the Liberal National Party, which only runs in Queensland and has 21 seats, which, that's fine. And finally, you got, out of the ones that have seats, you've got the National Party, which runs nationwide, is everywhere. It technically has 9 seats as of now because of a little bit of a fiasco with ye old Barnaby Joyce, the Deputy Prime Minister. You see, usually the leader of the Nationals becomes Deputy Prime Minister in the event of a coalition government. And, of course, since there's a coalition government currently, your old boy Barnaby Joyce, he's leader for the National Party. He has been leader since 2016, and as such, he was the Deputy Prime Minister. You might be saying to yourself, excuse me, why is he not the Deputy Prime Minister anymore? There's a little, I'll tell you, there's a little fiasco. There's a little thing in the Constitution of Australia that is essentially prohibits anyone with citizenship from another country from serving in Parliament. Unfortunately, one bloke this year said, I'm a dual citizen. And then a bunch of other pollies went and checked their citizenship, and they all found, and most of them, a lot of them, 7 of them, I believe, found that they may, I don't think it was 7, but several of them found that they may all have dual citizenship. And so they were referred to the High Court, and your boy Barnaby was one of them. He was investigated for having New Zealand citizenship, which is Yeah. You might be wondering, why do we have such a prehistoric law? Well, reason one, we're pretty much a prehistoric country. Don't let anyone tell you we're really multicultural. We send people to islands on other countries so that they don't become our problem. What a fantastic... I'm sure no human rights abuses could allegations could arise from that situation. But I digress. Also, that law was written in 1901, and they've never changed it. It's stupid. But hey, we got to live with it. So your boy Barnaby is no longer deputy prime minister, and as such, the National Party only has 9 because he was forced to resign from his seat because he was technically breaking the law of the Constitution. Now they're going to have a by-election, and maybe I'll make a video on the whole citizenship fiasco thingamajigger, but not right now. And the fourth party, the one I said had no seats, is, of course, the legendary Country Nationals Party. I say legendary because I'm not even sure they really exist. They only exist in the Northern Territory, which, in my mind, doesn't exist, because it's just like a barren hunk of rock sitting on our north. If you live in the Northern Territory and are offended by this, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not really, but hey, if I say I'm sorry, that means I'm truly sorry, right? That's how these things work. But anyway, yeah, Liberals coalition is essentially, it's a fine, it's a good, well, coalition is in government, well, they were in majority government by 1 seat, having 76 seats exactly. But of course, with your boy Barnaby being kicked out of Parliament, they now only have 75, so they only have 50%, which is a little bit awkward, because it's just kind of... yeah. So now there's a whole controversy. Like I said, maybe I'll make another video on that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll go jump off a building. That's highly possible. But we've only got, technically, like, 3 more parties to talk about in the House of Representatives, and that's all I'm going to talk about for today. If you want another part of this, then just, I don't know, tell me or something, I guess. I don't know if you want another part of this yet, but we're going to go on to the Greens now, so yay! So, the Greens. What can be said about the Greens? A lot of things. Mostly the fact that they're a bunch of tree-loving hippies. Okay, that's highly unoriginal. I do apologize. Their slogan is, standing up for what matters. Not people, trees. I could make so many jokes about them. They even had a deputy leader called Larissa Waters. That's how much they care about the environment. And that's why one time they opposed the tax on petrol, which doesn't really make much sense when you think about it. But shut up. It's not what we're not here to question people. We're just here to talk about how little of an impact the Greens have on the... The Greens are one of 3 parties in the House of Representatives at the moment that really have no chance of ever being in government, because they're just so small. Yeah. The Greens are kinda... they're really the Green Party. Not much else can be said about them. Although, perhaps, unless you want to make jokes about how they're just kinda... they're just kinda, just kinda a bunch of hippies, which I already made that joke. Which means it's basically very, very silly, very silly joke, very pointless joke. Well, there's so many. Well, there is a couple of jokes. That whole fiasco basically destroyed both the deputy leaders of the Greens because, I don't know, people are idiots. Really, they're fine. They're not bad. Richard Di Natale sounds a bit like a 50-year-old Italian operato. And maybe he's actually 50 years old. No, he's not. Okay, I was hoping that would be ridiculously funny, but it wasn't. He's actually 47. Gosh darn it, you couldn't have been born 3 years later, or earlier, or I couldn't have made this video 3 years later, but by the time I make this video, maybe the Greens will... If I made the video in 2020, maybe then the Greens would have come into power at least once. Nah. That's never gonna happen. I'm sorry. Just yeah. You've also got their alliterative founder, Bob Brown. It's always good. You gotta get alliterative founders. Regular founders will not do. Because that way you can't... If you don't get alliterative members, you apparently... something happens to you. I have no clue. I'm making this up as I go along. Does it show... Currently, they only have one seat in the House of Representatives, which is, of course, Adam Bandt. The great Adam Bandt. Only the second member to be actually elected to the House of Representatives after Michael Organ. Coincidentally, Adam Bandt is a doctor. Maybe he experimented on Michael Organ. Has anyone seen Michael Organ recently? Have you? Yes. Yes, they have. But shush, we're gonna disregard logic for the sake of a joke. Who's ever done that before? But really, the final two are where the jokes come in. We've got, up next, we've got the fantastic Nick Xenophon team. Not party, team. Because we gotta really emphasize we're all a team. Yeah. Team Australia. Remember that? You gotta be on Team Australia or you get shipped out to Papua New Guinea or Nauru or wherever the fuck. What? Yeah, Nick Xenophon team. You might be wondering, who is this Nick Xenophon person? He sounds like an alien. Sometimes I honestly think he is. Although it is just a regular Greek name, but let's not, again, disregard logic. Sake of a joke. Never done that before. Probably will do it about 50 million times again, but hey, yeah. He's very anti-gambling. Highly anti-gambling. If you gamble, you're probably going to get thrown off a cliff by this man. Okay. Probably not. But, again, disregard logic for the sake of a joke. Always works. Always makes things funny, right? What is this video anymore? But anyway, if you want to know something about Nick Xenophon, apart from the fact that his name sounds like an alien, kind of reminds me of that bad movie, Xanadu, with, I think it had Olivia Newton-John, you know, the woman with the Let's Get Physical, and the John Farnham, you know, the man with the voice. I don't know anymore, but, yeah. Well, Nick Xenophon was also a member of the Citizenship 7, the people whose political careers were pretty much claimed by the fiasco a vast interdimensional entity from the planet Taruhanetoshmir. They make the best wine, let me tell you. But no, seriously, he resigned. He'd already resigned by the time the High Court passed his verdict on him being illegible for Parliament, so that's a shame. We need more people driving a blue car. You'll never be able to find that clip, but if you do, please send it to me, because that is an amazing, amazing clip of Nick Xenophon riding in the fucking little blue car. He's like the next Wiggles. They had the big red car, he's got the little blue car. Nick Xenophon. I'm Nick Xenophon, bitch. But in all honesty, though, what Nick Xenophon team only has one. They only have one federal person for the division of Mayo, specifically Rebecca Sharkey. Division of Mayo. They might be anti-gambling. But don't you ever say that they are anti-Mayo. Why is it called Mayo? What kind of division is that? Oh, of course, it's named after the famous Helen Mayo. Never heard of her. Never in my life. But, yeah. Anyway, Nick Xenophon team. Not many jokes that can be made about it, but, next party, we got ourselves a comedic gold mine. So many jokes can be made about these people, this party specifically, and their leader. It's another fantastic party named after someone. It's, you guessed it, Kata's Australian Party. Woo! What am I doing anymore? I hope this ends soon, like my life. Fucking kill me, please. Well, yeah. Kata's Australian Party. Amazing. Almost the most, it's almost the most right-wing party you'll find in the country, apart from the One Nation Party, who, if I do end up making a sequel to this, I will talk about the people in the Senate that aren't also in the House of Reps, like Jackie Lambie, Darren Hinch, or the amazing, of course, the amazing One Nation. But really, Kata's Australian Party. Something hit me that there isn't really a good comedy party. And so I realize maybe we need these parties like Kata's Australian Party or One Nation, because they are very funny. They are the best comedy I've ever seen. Yeah, you're never gonna find something as you're never gonna find comedy outside of these guys' manifestos or whatever the hell that's funnier than this. This is the funniest Australian comedy you can get. They're the most conservative people, even to ridiculous. Like there's stuff I can understand. They're usually the standard for right-wing parties. You got your old, like, disbelieving climate change, hating the carbon tax, the no gay marriage, all that. And then you got just weird shit like fucking you got shit like fishing freely without a permit or boiling a billy without a permit, which is, of course, very, very important. Very, very important. I really don't know why that is up there with stuff like not legalizing gay marriage. Also, they really do like to stick up for the farmers in the middle of nowhere, the rocky shithole out to the west of Brisbane. Look, I know some farmers, they're nice people, but honestly, large majority of them are people that vote for Katter's Australian Party. Gotcha. No, but seriously, if you, it's a little bit of a disclaimer here. I don't care who you vote for. This isn't meant to be me pushing my political views. Well, it is kind of. It's me making jokes about political parties. But yeah, really, which are, of course, the jokes are going to come from my personal beliefs, which I don't see as a problem. But hey, maybe you're going to come to my house with a Katter's Australian Party licensed cattle hat and decapitate me. I don't know. They probably make cattle hats. They seem like the type of people to do that. But hey, ye old Bob Katter, in the seat of Kennedy, who was about as different from John F. Kennedy as you can imagine. Well, of course, he's named, technically, it's named after Edmund Kennedy, the famous explorer, not famous outside of Australia. Yeah, really, Edmund Kennedy, that's who it's named after. Not John F. Kennedy, because that wouldn't make any sense, considering this Kennedy division was founded in 1901. And, of course, yeah. But you've had other famous people, other such great, you got Charles MacDonald, literally Old Farmer MacDonald, Grosvenor Francis, Darby Riordan, Bill Riordan, and it's just really amazing, in all honesty. I can't believe it. These guys are the best goddamn comedy, and I love them. And you should love them too, because if you don't love them, I'll come around with a Katter's Australian Party cattle hat and get you. Good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do all the stuff that people tell you to do, but I'm not going to tell you to do because it's boring and it's like subscribe, and you know how to subscribe. Anyway, who cares? Bye. Yes, goodbye.